Hi, I'm Jay Nocton. I'm the program director of the Pediatric Rheumatology Fellowship Training Program here at the Medical College of Wisconsin and Children's Hospital of Wisconsin. And I'm here with our two current fellows, Caitlin and Emma. Today's date is March 22nd, 2022. And Caitlin and Emma and I are going to have a conversation basically about our fellowship. I'll be asking them some questions, and we hope that you will learn about our fellows, but also we hope that you will learn a little bit more about our program by listening in on our conversation. So Caitlin and Emma, how are you today?
Great, thank you, Emma.
Good, thanks.
I'm going to start with Caitlin. And Caitlin, why don't you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, so I'm Caitlin. I am from Indiana originally, though went to college out in Colorado, got away a little bit, missed the Midwest, and came back. Went to medical school at MCW, and then did med peds residency here, and now I'm doing fellowship here.
How about you, Emma?
I grew up in Kansas City. I went to the University of Kansas for medical school, and then I moved up here to Milwaukee for my pediatrics residency. And then I was very happy to stay on for my rheumatology fellowship.
So I realized that this question is not quite the same for both of you, since you were both residents with us. But Caitlin, I'm going to ask you, what was it about our fellowship program that attracted you to staying here?
Yeah, so quite a few different things. I think one, it was just a large population we actually covered, because I think it's just us in Madison. It really covers the entire state of Wisconsin and a lot of upper Illinois and the UP up in Michigan. So we get a really good patient volume, like wide variety, especially even just the diversity of patients, some more urban setting, some who have been living kind of in the rural area. So you kind of see even that influence on these patients and how they handle their disease. And then I loved how the med peds and me, we are very closely associated with the adult hospital. The buildings are actually attached. And so it, for someone who's interested in transition care, kind of provides a good resource to potentially talk to our adult colleagues. We have meetings with them. And so I loved the whole setting, as well as just our great department with even many attendings with different interests that then allow you to explore a ton of different interests here.
Thanks, Caitlin. Emma, do you want to comment on that?
I do. So I was pretty positive I wanted to do rheumatology fellowship even when I started my peds internship. And so the characteristics of the department here really did influence my choice of pediatrics residency. I too wanted a large group of faculty with diverse areas of expertise, and I wanted to be at a busy children's hospital to make sure I got a really thorough clinical education. And so having both of those here, I feel confident that I'll be well trained for any position in pediatric rheumatology after I graduate.
Great, thank you. So Emma, I'm going to allow you to go first this time. You both touched on this a little bit. Emma, can you just describe your clinical interests, your scholarly interests a little bit more?
Yes. I so far particularly like taking care of kids with lupus and JIA. I also really enjoy Lyme arthritis, which you would get experience in here as we are in an endemic area. But I still feel like I'm gathering clinical experience to determine my official interests there. Academically, I'm pursuing education research in the digital space. And our fellowship program is also developing a new quality improvement project as a team, which I'm excited about.
Thank you. Caitlin, do you want to comment on that same question? Just describe your interest a little bit more.
Yeah, so I am particularly interested in lupus. That is my disease of choice, if you would like to say, though I love JIA as well. But even within that kind of adolescent population of both these diseases, because my scholarly interests particularly lie in transition care and kind of improving the process, as well as adolescent compliance, kind of that tricky age group, and trying to find new ways to improve that. And like Emma said, we just started a new QI project that we are so excited about, and we're gonna hopefully keep carrying on the next couple of years of fellowship as well.
Thank you. So the next question is for someone who is considering doing a pediatric rheumatology fellowship, who's looking at a lot of different programs and looking specifically at our program. Caitlin, do you have any specific advice for them?
Yeah, so I would say definitely look at places like ours that have a large children's hospital with many different specialties, because our rheumatologic diseases aren't exactly just confined to our particular department. We work very closely with dermatology, nephrology, so many other different services, and it's nice to have them right next door. So having that available to you when you're looking for fellowship, I think, is important, as well as even within your department. As Emma had noted earlier, one of the things she was interested about our program was just the diverse interests within the department itself. Everyone's not just clinic driven or basic science driven. We have a wide variety of attendings who are involved in both areas of interest. And so I think that's important, because you might think you know what you want to focus on when you're going into fellowship, and that can easily change.
Thank you. Emma, do you need me to restate the question, or do you want to just?
I don't. So I think my advice to a fellowship applicant would be to try to pay attention to the details of the different programs in terms of call, your clinic schedule, vacation, holidays, et cetera, because I do think there's more variability there than you might be used to from comparing pediatric residency programs. And I would say try to get a sense from the current fellows about how well they think that system is working and whether they're finding flexibility from their program directors when needed. I would say I'm really grateful that we have a lot of flexibility in our schedule, because we are easily able to adjust when unexpected things come up. And that just makes it easier to have your whole life functioning well during this phase of your training.
Thank you. Emma, can you talk a little bit about the mentorship you get in our program?
Yes, our whole department is really excited about teaching, and so it feels like we get pretty constant mentorship from everyone in the group. I would say it's particularly nice for us having 2 program directors, because it feels like there's always someone to ask when a clinical question comes up or when we have an idea about how a certain process might work better. And they're really responsive to our concerns and feedback. So I really like the kind of partnership dynamic I find in our mentorship here.
Caitlin, can you comment on that too?
Yeah, it's wonderful. Our mentorship's great. There is just so many different kind of types of mentorship, I guess is the right way to describe it. So even outside of our department, you'll find in the program, the children's hospital, I should say here, there's so many people willing to meet with you and mentor you on things. For example, I'm talking to one of our endocrinologists about transition care, and he just jumped on that. And how can we do it in both of our departments? And so you'll find that the mentorship isn't just restricted to our department, though it is excellent in it, but just in general, the mentorship throughout the hospital is very accessible and wonderful.
Thank you. So Caitlin, thinking beyond our section a little bit more and thinking of all of MCW and children's, what would you say are 1 or 2 things you like the most about the whole environment here at our institutions?
The collaboration, I think, is one of my favorite parts of our institution. We recently moved into a new building, which has its ups and downs, but mostly ups in the sense that everyone is very nearby. If I have a neph question, I have actually kind of hidden outside of one of our favorite nephrologist's desks, been like, hey, can I grab you real fast in between your patients and kind of talk about one of our mutual patients? Or same thing with our derm colleagues. I think that's a huge plus to have everyone right there, right available and easily accessible. Yeah.
Great. Emma, can you comment?
Mhm. I agree. I think our culture of valuing education really permeates every aspect of our institution. All of our faculty are enthusiastic about teaching, and we also have really engaged medical students and residents. So that makes it really fun as we step more into the educator role ourselves, so I can share what I'm learning as I progress through my fellowship. I also think just a big strength of our division in particular is we have really experienced and kind nurses who help us every single day. And they just truly do make our work experience infinitely better by being so wonderful.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. As you guys may have heard me say, when our nurses retire, I retire.
We can't even handle the thought. I don't want to
Right.
think about it.
Yes, they are the best.
So final question. Emma, you can go first. What do you like best about Milwaukee?
I'm always impressed how you can find whatever you're looking for here, whether it's a busy downtown with a packed sports arena to small, quirky neighborhoods where there's always a new restaurant opening, beautiful hiking trails, or even the beach in the summertime. There's always new treasures that I'm finding, which has made this a really fun place to train. And I must emphasize that we really do have the most beautiful summers. And it's so bonding because everyone wants to be together outside as much as possible. And it's really fun.
You know, there's going to be someone who watches this saying, beach in Milwaukee? What's that all about?
It'll shock you. I know.
Mhm.
But there is a beach here with beach volleyball and little
Yeah.
tiki bars, and
Sailboats and all of it.
it's almost like the Caribbean. Yeah.
Almost.
Caitlin, what do you like best about Milwaukee?
Gosh, it is a wonderful city. I think especially for all age groups, I think is important. As someone who has young kids, there's so many fun things for them to do as well as the adults. Their zoo is pretty amazing for a smaller city. Highly recommend. But like Emma was bringing up, the beach, the hiking. I'm a huge outdoorsy person, and there's so much fun hiking. Um, the art and culture. There's great big theaters, and the art museum is beautiful. And like I think just activities for all ages. So many fun things to do. It's without the traffic of some of the bigger cities. So, and lots of affordable housing. Highly love the city. Like it's great.
Thank you. Well, thanks to both of you, Caitlin and Emma. And for those of you watching this, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. I'd encourage you to explore everything else on our website. We hope that this gave you a little glimpse into our program and helped you to get to know our fellows a little bit better. And there's a lot more information you can find on our website. So thanks again, Caitlin and Emma, and I'll talk to you soon.